Yeah, just reduce it. Okay. Well, please stand up. Thank you. All right, so good evening, everybody. Good evening, and welcome to another section of this webinar. If this is your first time, I'd say welcome. And if this is going to be like your second time, I'd say welcome again. And if you know you've been enjoying the benefits of this webinar alone, then I would say that you are selfish. At least before the end of this year, before the year runs out, ensure that you send this link to someone. I mean, try to do something significant in people's life. And at the end of 2024, they will get to, appreciate you for having to be part of the journey. So with no further ado, I'd like to call on our guest for today. But before then, I'm sorry, I didn't get to ask how have you guys been? How's been your week? It's Wednesday, and are you preparing for Christmas? I mean, it's the festive season, and I know that the whole place is, hustling and full of hustling and bustling. Everyone is trying to round up for the year. And I like to say this, if it seems as though you've not done something significant for yourself this year, I want you to be rest assured that there is God of last minute miracle, or how do they call it? So I don't want you to give up on yourself. I don't want you to feel discouraged. Should everyone begin to post their best moments in the year 2024, just like they do every year on social media, please do not feel down. Do not question your worth. I don't want you to feel less of yourself. So please make sure that you try to handle the hand to end the year so well as much as you can. And take a chill pill. I mean, don't pressure yourself. If probably your goal was to start that $1 million or million naira project and it didn't come through, I want you to be rest assured that everything is going to work together for your good. And if it were to be the loan or the admission, the scholarship you're trying to get and it didn't come through, I want you to know that everything works together for your good. And if you were denied the visa, probably you didn't meet up to the standard or you were rejected, I want you to know that everything works together for your good, and be rest assured that very soon you shall be celebrated. So, like I said, let's get started because we are just going to be diving into the conversation and we're going to hit the nail on the head. We're not going to be talking one team. We're just going to be hitting the nail on the head. So, should you have any questions, please feel free to drop them in the comment section. And of course, I guess would answer them. All right, so please, ladies and gentlemen, make welcome. I would have said, let me, invite the male first, but I'm one of those, people in the school of thought that everything you want to do, ladies first, women first, women supporting women. So I'd like to make welcome Farida Sarumi. Hey Farida, good evening. Can you just say something?
Hi,
Hello.
Annie. Good
How
evening.
are
How are
you?
you?
Good to have you. I mean, after the old
Yeah,
battle, you know, we finally get to have you on my webinar. So thank you so much for joining. And
I'm
I'm
so
looking forward to
happy.
an amazing session with you. And I hope that you are super ready because I mean the questions are going to be coming like the dank.
100%, Annie. 100%.
All right, thank you so much. So let me do the introduction like proper, like let me do it equally, I mean, so that the other guests will not feel somehow. Hey Femi, Wagwan, what's good? How you doing? Let me greet you like a guy, man. What's going on, Femi? How are you?
Hi, Annie. It's good to have
Hello.
you. How are you doing?
I wanted to greet you like a guy, man, like, yeah, collect the virtual shake. Okay, okay. Do like this now. Do
Take.
All right,
How are
thank
you
you.
doing?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you too? You
I'm
good?
very well, thank you. And thank you for bringing me here.
You're welcome. And thanks for joining. I mean, it was such a very short notice, but you did make it, deem fit to have to,
Fine.
join. Thank you
Thank you.
so much.
You're
So before
welcome.
we go straight into what we're here, today for this week's webinar, we are talking about how excuse me, guys. Okay, so we're talking about admission. So many,
Okay.
so many. So what's that English now? I'm trying to use a particular English, but it's not coming. But I know maybe in the process it's going to come. So there is so many, things that are not true about studying in the US, UK, Canada. I mean, we have so much teachers on the WW than the people that are actually applying. And when there are too much of people with too much of knowledge, people will get to absorb the wrong information. So having to bring people like Femi and like Farida on this platform, it's just a way of letting you guys know that these are things that you can, get on a platter of gold without having to pay anything. I mean, some persons would not give you this information until you have to pay a certain amount. But firstly, we got you, and we really want you to, having to see you, actualize the dream of being global, So yes, so we're going to be talking about how to process admissions to universities in the UK, in the US, and of course, Canada. So before we get into the questions, Femi, I'd like to ask you, you are an immigration analyst, right? And
Absolutely.
is that one now?
I said absolutely.
Yeah. So I just want you to give us a brief background of who Femi is in terms of being an immigration analyst.
Okay. Thank you, Annie. And good evening, everyone. I'm Oluwafemi Adewale, and I'm a migration analyst at Vesti. So I've been into this, professionally for over 4 years now. And it's quite an interesting. You hardly find people that, people see migration analysts as, you know, untruthful people, and then we have different, mindsets towards them, and we have people, that will see you and then be like, all these ones.
Yeah.
But regardless, we do what we do, and here at Vesti, our integrity is online. So and then we cannot afford to, mess things up. We are a brand that represents a whole lot of things. And then as a result of that, we ensure that integrity is one of the things we imbibe as a culture and accountability. So
Femi,
once
hold
you
on a
see,
bit. Hold on a bit. Why are you so loyal? I'm even talking, and the question I asked you is about you, and you're already talking about the brand Vesty. That really shows I think a whole lot. And I love that, literally. But I want to hear about you before we dive into Vesty. let's take Vesti out of this now. Let's talk about you. People want to see, like, you having to work with Vesti. We know. I mean, if you're not too good or you're not good for the job, you won't be investing, right?
Okay.
So we want to know about you. Who is Femi? For how long has Femi been an immigration analyst for? And when people tell me, I mean, I want to put myself in the position of the listeners or the attendees. If you tell me you're an immigration analyst, I feel like you've traveled wild, like wild rather, like travel far and near. You've been to all of these countries, and I know as an immigration analyst, you must have been asked questions like this: that okay,
Ye-
where have you been to? Which of these countries have you been? Which citizenship are you? Are you just Nigerian or you're a Canadian?
Okay,
Questions like
I get you.
so I want you to answer this question.
All right. Thank you, Annie. But even with me answering this question, it's still at my discretion. But I'll just throw out few anyways. They are personal information. Okay, so as a migration analyst, I have been into this industry for over 4 years. Do you understand? So, and I've been to a few countries. I'm a citizen of Nigeria by birth, and I hold no citizenship of another country. I love Nigeria, and I would still love to remain in Nigeria for a while. I think, and um, I love Nigeria, like I said, and I can move to other countries just on a visit purpose, not you know. Nigeria is one of the countries that you can feel at home. So since this is my country of birth, absolutely. Um, we are moving nowhere. We remain here, but we go out there. We enjoy, and then we return back home. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Femi. So I'll come back to yeah.
All right.
But let me mix with Farida. Farida, are you with me? Are you with us? Oh yeah, I guess us. Hey
I'm
Farida.
here, definitely I'm here. Hi.
Okay, so great. So could you please tell me who Farida is and for how long have you been in this position? And yeah. Farida, are you there, please?
Yeah, I'm here. So, Farida,
Camera is not on. We can't see your beautiful face.
I think that's due to network, please.
Okay. Okay, so please go ahead.
All right. So, Farida being Farida, I've been in this position for I think about 3 months now. I'm here at Vesti as a finance officer. So basically, I'm just me. I'm the vibes. I'm the bubbly fine girl here. But that aside, I love my job and I love to act. I know when to act, right? In my job, and I love take my job seriously. So yeah, that's just me. A balance between bubbly and the boss lady.
Okay, absolutely. That's fine. But I like to say that you're not the only fine girl here. Why would you want to be? Okay,
Don't worry,
so
we're together.
all right. So thank you so much, Farida. That was literally brief, but I just wanted people to know who would be taking them up or answer all of the questions about how to process your admissions. I mean, 2025 is just like the snap of the finger right here. So I mean, I don't know why some of you don't even have 2025 plan yet. Bro, don't play. Like, you're joking on your life. Don't. 2025 is just like, you're about to say when we talk about did you, is it Lajo or did you something? Like 2025 is just like when you close your eyes, you open it, and boom, we are in April already, 2025. So please, guys, take it serious. All right, so moving on, I'm just gonna be asking my questions. All right, so Femi, I think I'll be back to you now. Femi, are you with me?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, so this question is actually for you, and um, Trust me when I say that they are really fast questions and you don't have to further yourself. Right. Okay. So the first question I'm going to be asking Femi is, so are there differences between the admission processes for universities in the USA, in Canada, and in the UK? Are there admission, like the admission processes for each of these countries, are they different or they are the same?
Okay. Admission actually is not country based, is school based. Because okay, we can say a bit of country based, but not is not dependent on country, like you asked the question. And why I mentioned that is because for instance, all of them have the same processes. So almost all the schools request for application fee. So in UK, in Canada, in US, so they request for application fee. I mean, they demand application fee while you're filing application or applying for admission. And while at that, we also have some institution there that does not require application fee, regardless of the country. So I mean, regardless of either UK, Canada, or US. So they literally will not ask you. So it's like that in all of these three countries that you mentioned. But when we now say country factor, so country factor for Canada is that most of the institutions in Canada would ask that you make a down payment, probably 3,000 CAD, 9,005 CAD, before before you can start before you can start your application, and then before they can consider you as a student, before you can be offered what's it called, admission letter. So you have to pay a certain amount of money. So just like in Nigeria here, where you have to pay admission fee, right? There's admission fee. Is it admission fee? Yeah. You pay certain money before your school fee. I've forgotten what it is called.
Is it service fee?
No. Like in Nigeria, yeah, when you get admission to school, you pay a kind of money before your school fee. It's not admission fee. It's called, I can't remember.
In Nigeria,
In
right?
Nigeria, there's a certain fee you pay before school fee. When you
Acceptance
have
fee.
acceptance fee. Thank you. Acceptance fee. So, but in some schools in Canada, it's like that. But it's not called acceptance fee. Thank you, Ezra. It's not acceptance fee in Canada. So, but it's a commitment fee. Some are non-refundable. Some are refundable. But in US, most of the schools in US will not ask you to pay that kind of amount of money before you can be offered admission, or before you can be offered admission letter rather. So in US, once you get admission, you get your admission letter straight up, but you have to fill your I-20. Your I-20 is equals to your financial affidavit, and then you have to make a service fee. Service fee is non-refundable as well. So, but in UK too, you need to make some down payment as well for some institution, and some institution will not even ask you for that. So actually, it's actually not country based, even though we have it's country based somehow. So that's it.
All right, so I was gonna ask a follow-up question, right?
Okay.
If you because I remember, like, I had someone who was, I think got the admission and I think got stopped at the point of paying for service fee.
Okay.
So I think the service fee is usually like a problem where most people get stopped. And like now is even more expensive unlike the previous years. So what do you have to say to that? Would you say that for everyone who is trying to process the admission, ensure that you have all of these fundings or documents? Though I'm still going to ask a question about what kind of documents you should get ready in order for you to process your admission. I'm still coming to that aspect, but as it is now, do you think that most people service fee is one of those, let me use official term, like a blocker, right?
Okay.
It's like a follow-up question, so I'm sorry. So what would you have to say to this? Would you say that if you're processing admission, make sure that you get all of the fundings, all of the cash, and all of that.
Okay, thank you. First of all, let me use a narrative to answer that question. You cannot be interested in owning a car and then you don't have an extra cash for fuel or for car maintenance. It's not possible. So once you know you are ready for admission, and then US is your school of choice, absolutely, you should know that you ought to pay service fee. So you're not so that you won't get stuck. So it is not at the point of getting admission then where you are now asked to pay service fee, then you are now acting surprised. I don't have it. So when you don't have it, why do you have to start the process when you don't have it? So these are the things you should get ready before you begin application. So you can't get to the river and then you said you are not interested in bathing anymore. So what took you there in the first place? So you have to get your what's it called? Your service fee ready. Why? Because you are seeking for admission and your prayer and your hope is that you get that admission. So once you get it, the next thing which will be required of you to do is to pay for your service fee and then get your visa application done and then go to the embassy for your interview and get the visa and move on. So having to delay yourself is to say, I don't have service fee, then why do you have to start the application in the first place? Except that probably due to some financial situation or you had a hope somewhere and then the person disappointed you or whatever. So, but if not that, then service fee is part of your plan. Thank you.
Okay, so let me ask you the last two questions for this session. Okay. So yeah, I think I'll just make it two in one because they are sort of intertwined. Okay. So how early, this is basically for 2024 is, you cannot say you want to get an admission in the US or Canada or UK like this. So 2024 is over when it comes to processing your admission, but not over for you to start, right? So now this is me asking that, how early should one begin to prepare for his or her application materials for these universities? That's one A. Then 1B is, can you explain the key steps involved in applying to universities in these three countries? So now, how early would you advise one should start to prepare his or her document or materials for these universities? And what are the key steps involved? I don't want you to tell me the other steps, but I know there are different steps, right? But I want you to give me the key major steps as to how to apply for admissions in these universities.
Okay, thank you. I'll take it off straight. So, first of all, you must understand what fall is, what spring is, what summer is, what autumn is, if you are interested in schooling abroad. So you won't start applying for, probably you want to apply for admission next summer, and then you are now starting the process now. The person is as clueless because summer is just in less than a month. And then it's just January. So you're saying you want to start a January application now in December is a no. So you have to understand the season, how the season comes. So if you are applying for fall admission, which is around August next year, so this is the best time to plan. If you are applying for, let's say, probably March application, this is the right time to start. So get your recommendation letter from either your institution or your employer, or someone who you hold as a mentor or you look up to as a mentor.
Like an higher figure, right?
Exactly. People you see as a mentor or your employer or your religious organization who can vouch for you. So get those ones ready. Get your transcripts. Student copy basically, because sometimes in your application you'll be asked to upload a student copy, even though you will still have to submit official copy, which has to be from your institution to the school, not from you to the school you are seeking admission from. It is from your institution to that. So all those things, you get your passport. You cannot apply for admission when you don't have a passport. So you get your passport already, so you are not waiting for anything. You get yourself financially sorted. If you need to get that. I think that's one of the most important thing, because we're talking about money here. So you need to be sure that you have the money to start. It's not when you are supposed to pay for application fee of like $100, then you are now running helter skelter. So if you cannot conveniently pay an application fee, then you don't need to start applying for schools. You don't need to apply for admission from schools if you cannot pay admission fee. Application fee conveniently. So it means you are not ready. You are not financially ready yet. So, and those application fees should not be what should stress you to pay. So it's not even part of the expenses yet. So those are just tips. You just need to tip your application to see if you will be considered or not. So you need to get those ones ready. You need to get your CV intact, your statement of purpose. You have to have written that ready-made to fit into what you want to do. And you must understand the course you want to take as well. So these are the things you need to know as someone who is really serious about admission in schools abroad. Thank you.
Very much. Thank you very much, Femi. I was going to proceed in having to ask more questions, but I will just leave it to the audience to take the bold steps having to continue this process, because definitely we can't dish out all of the information. I mean, you should be able to, like you're about to say, I don't know what they say. How do they say? Please help me.
You're about to say,
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So at least we have your apa, we have opened your arms. So you should try and also carry yourself.
Absolutely.
All right, so moving on, I'm going to be talking to Farida. Farida, you see with me? Hello. Okay, so for you, Farida, I know you handle the financial part or the admission process for, people that have actually, that Vessi has literally helped in having to gain, admission and also give loans to them. So I'm going to be talking about the financial aid and scholarship. All right, so how can students apply for the financial aid, and what documents are usually required to get this financial aid from Vessi?
All right. So when we're talking about financial aid, I think I need to explain the fact that it could basically be scholarships, it could be grants, it could be loans. And for Vessi, we literally have 3 types of loans that we give out to anybody that needs financial aid. The first one is usually the international student loan. We have the migration support, and then we have the proof of funds. So for the international student loan, it's basically just as the name is. It's basically for students that want to move out of the country to study in different parts. And this type of loan actually covers those that want to go for their master's, a 2-year course. So for this type of loan, how do you apply for it? You could just go onto our website here at Vessi. You click on the link and then you fill a form. Once that is being filled, we'll go through your documents. We'll see if your school is being supported by us. And then we'll move on to the next step. So that for international student loan, it's quite easy to just move just for us to help you. Once you fill the loan, you've done the due processes, and documents that are usually required for this are like the credit report, your passport, your admission letter, a proof of admission, and then a proof of address. So basically those are the documents that are required for that type of loan. Then moving on to the migration support loan, basically for anybody that intends to move out of the country. You don't need to go through the student route. Even if you're going through the student route is also an option you can explore. For that type of loan, what you would be needing, you'll be needing a collateral. And for those collateral, basically we accept landed properties. And by landed properties, I need to explicitly state that we're talking about buildings here and motor vehicles that are about 10 years, time frame of 10 years. So yeah, for those type of collaterals, right? For the buildings, we'll be needing your certificate of occupancy, popularly known as C of O. And for we'd also be needing, maybe if you do not have a certificate of occupancy, we also require you to give governor's consent. So that is for the landed buildings. So we have for the other type, which is the motor vehicle, you just need to give us the documents, all documents relating to your motor vehicle, your particulars, all important documents for your vehicle. Then those are basically the documents you'll be needing for that type of loan. Then moving on, we have the proof of funds. For proof of funds, basically, you just need to state how long it is you'll be needing this funds for, and we'll do the necessary things. Just fill up a form and then we'll be reaching out to you. Basically, that's just it.
All right, thank you so very much, Farida, for such a brief and educative response. So I'm just going to be asking one more question, then we call it a day from your hand, right? So I just want to ask, what are the common pitfall or say and mistakes that people usually make and that you would advise people that would want to proceed after this webinar with Vesti to help process the admission for the year 2025? What are the common pitfalls and mistakes that you think could stop them from getting the scholarship or the migration loan from Vesti?
All right. So I think a common mistake is people do not give adequate information. They do not give sufficient information for us to help process their loans. For example, I think one document in particular that people tend not to submit will be the credit report. And basically, they always state that, oh, I don't know where I'm supposed to get my credit report from. I don't know what a credit report is. Basically, your credit report is just showing your proof of credit. And that type of credit, for your credit report, you can get them from any commercial bank. You can then get them from any bureau also. So credit report is one thing I know that people tend to take out of their application because they do not really understand what a credit report is. So I think when we're talking about P4, I think I will be saying people should always make sure that they have all the necessary documents, all the necessary information that would require them to go for these loans or any of these processes, because it just makes your application smoother and the time frame smaller. So I think that's just one thing I have noticed over time.
All right, thank you so very much, Farida. I think I'm just going to be putting an hold on you for now while I go back to Femi to give us like a whole wrap up about, everything about the topic itself, which says how to process admissions into universities in Canada, in the US, and in the UK. So Femi, what would be your last call to action for our listeners and viewers?
Okay, I think I've mentioned that earlier, and all you need to know first is all the requirements. You must be very familiar with the requirements for your application, both visa application and admission application. So you must know all the requirements for you and then get them ready. And when you get all these things ready, then you are good to go. So that's just a simple answer to that.
All right, thank you so very much. Farida, over to you. What would you say to the audience? What would be your call to action?
I'm sorry, I didn't get that. Could you please?
What would be your wrap up or your call to action to the audience?
All right, so I'm going to state that here, Vesti, basically, we are here to help you with your your application processes. But as long as we're here to help you, you also have to help us make your processes easier by providing us adequate information and making the whole process easier. When we reach out to you, you should try to reach out back, even if you're not available during that time frame that we have reached out to you. I think basically that's what I have to say.
Okay. All right, thank you so very much, Farida. So over to you, to the audience. So this is all we have for you on today's webinar on how to process your admission into universities in the UK, in Canada, and in the US. Should you have more questions or you really want to know more about all of the questions asked, or you think or you feel that we didn't get to ask the questions that you want us to ask, please do well to send a DM to us via Instagram at Vesti Official, on Twitter, Vesti Official, LinkedIn, Vesti, and of course, you can always visit our website, www.wevesti.com. And also, please feel free to, follow us across all of our social media handles, from YouTube to TikTok, where you get to see some of the humans of Vesti, from something, stepping outside. We were stepping out from the work zone to the playful side of the humans of Vesti. And of course, Twitter, we get to release our products and services. We also get to talk about events that are upcoming or that are coming through, where you get to see Vesti staff and also Vesti's employees, to discuss with them one-on-one. I am the community manager here at Vesti, and I get questions from, oh, please, I would like to see you guys face to face. I want to know if you guys are real, all of those stuff. Our social media platforms is a good place for you, to join us, so you will get to you get the full information updates about events that we would be live at. So you can get to meet with our team members one-on-one. I mean, you get to meet with our legal officers, you get to meet with financial managers, you get to meet with the communication leads, the creative director, you get to meet with the customer success. You ask your questions. So please do well to follow us on all of our social media platforms. Actually, wondering who is this Black Beauty right in front of you? You already know. It is I, Eniola, and of course, I'm a community manager here at Vesti. Until next time, so let me say a big thank you to Farida and Oluwafemi, and of course to everyone that joined, and to everyone that will be sharing this link. Femi, thank you so much for joining. Farida, thank you so much.
It's nice having you. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Farida, for joining. God bless you. Sam Williams, I see you. Thank you so much. Samuel, I see you too. Temisa, you actually joined as well. Thank you so much for joining, and God bless you. Until then, please have a fantastic evening. Peace out.
Bye.